What if I told you there was a secret organization that killed kings and rulers, and no one knew about them? In the heart of the Middle East, empires clashed, but one man was plotting a war fought with a single dagger. The man known as the Old Man of the Mountain began a plan that would change history forever. Hashshashin was not born a killer. He was a student of knowledge, but knowledge paved his path to ultimate power. He traveled across empires, seeking knowledge and secrets that would create the deadliest brotherhood in history. Alamut Castle, the Eagle's Nest, where the Hashshashin would begin their journey into terror and control. The Fedayeen, carefully chosen youths, trained to embrace death before life. It is said Hashshashin drugged his followers to make them feel as if they were in paradise, but the truth was far more terrifying. The assassinations were never random, precise, terrifying, a message to all who opposed them. Even a silent message was enough to terrify the rulers of the world. The Hashshashin's network spread silently, from the Alamut Mountains to the greatest palaces. The targets were the most powerful men, yet fear was the Hashshashin's deadliest weapon. Nights were filled with whispers, and the shadows of death roaming the palaces. The garden was not paradise. It was a tool to manipulate loyalty, pushing followers to ultimate obedience. Loyalty to the mission was worth more than life itself. Even Europe felt the terror of the Hashshashin. Some leaders made secret alliances with them. History wrote about them, yet many of their secrets vanished with time. Even the mightiest fortress could not withstand the Mongols. The end of the legend approached. Alamut fell, and with it, much of the Hashshashin's secrets were lost. But their legacy did not die. Their methods and words endure forever. They had secret passages unknown to any outside, paths that saved lives and claimed many more. They secretly coated their blades with deadly poisons, a hidden horror in every strike. Signals in the night, instructions sent silently across mountains and villages. Some messages were so hidden, only the most trained eyes could read them. A code of fear. The Fedai believed, when the Crusades began, they faced an enemy unlike any other. A single Fedai could infiltrate palaces, unseen and unstoppable. Even letters could deliver fear, every message a silent threat. Alamut, a fortress of knowledge, fear, and secrets that would echo through centuries. The next generation would carry the legacy, in silence and shadows. Every movement was precise. Every drop of sweat was a lesson in discipline and loyalty. The leader's words could inspire courage or fear, depending on his will. The night was alive with preparation, the tension thick enough to cut. Secret paths carved in the mountains allowed them to strike and vanish. One step, one breath, the target unaware, death waiting silently. A single strike, precise, terrifying, leaving no trace. The gardens promised paradise, the cup delivered obedience. To reach the target, they would endure fatigue, hunger, and fear. A hidden poison, a strike that could topple kings. Silent signals, instructions sent across valleys and villages. Every instruction was a whisper of terror, delivered silently to the mountains. They moved like shadows, unseen and unstoppable. Their reach extended across empires, a silent web of fear. Death was always one step away, but they embraced it willingly. One strike could topple empires, silently, invisibly. The garden was a dream and a trap, feeding loyalty with illusion. Every journey tested their endurance against nature and fear. Every blade was a promise of silent death, each coated in fear. Plans were whispered, loyalty tested, obedience ensured. The Crusaders were blind to the true enemy. a shadow that struck silently. In the chaos of the crowd, they became invisible, yet deadly. The fortress stood as a beacon of knowledge, terror, and legend. The night mission, a dance with death, every breath a gamble. Codes hidden in ink, a silent language of fear and obedience. One glance, one decision, the difference between a single strike, precise, deadly, history would remember. The Paradise Illusion, a tool to control minds, loyalty earned in silence. From the mountains to the palaces, their reach was unseen, but deadly. The next generation, trained in silence, shadows, and loyalty. Alamut, the legend, the terror, the secret that would haunt empires. They embraced harsh conditions for the mission and the brotherhood. Every plan, calculated with precision, shaping history in shadows. Their weapons, extensions of their will and fear. Their reach was invisible, yet empires trembled. Every step, a gamble with death and victory. A single blade, a kingdom's fate, sealed silently. Obedience was cultivated through dreams, illusions, and controlled fear. To reach their target, they conquered mountains, rivers, and fear itself. Every blade, a hidden horror, silent yet deadly. Silent signals, whispered commands across mountains and villages. Codes so hidden, only the trained eyes could decipher, a language of fear. One glance, one choice, the difference between life and death. Alamut, fortress of knowledge, fear, and legend, still echoing through time. The night mission, a dance with death, every breath a risk. A single strike, precise, deadly, remembered in. Even under the coldest moon, they moved silently, ready to strike. Every word, a spark of fear, shaping warriors in shadow. Poison was not just a weapon, it was terror distilled into metal. They became part of the shadows, unseen yet deadly. Every path was a secret, every journey a story of fear and courage. The night belonged to them, every breath a test of courage. A single strike, precise, history would remember it forever. The illusion of paradise, a tool to control hearts and loyalty. The mountains tested their resolve, yet they pressed on. A weapon hidden in plain sight, fear distilled in metal. Silent signals, whispers of orders across mountains and villages. In 1090, a single fortress in the mountains of Persia became the center of a secret power. Hassan-i-Sabbah did not build an army. He built a network. The Seljuk Empire ruled vast lands. But power has one weakness. It cannot see the shadows. He was the most powerful man in the Seljuk Empire, Vizier Nizam al-Mulk. On October 14th, 1092, in a single moment, the Seljuk court froze. No army had invaded. It was the work of a single shadow, and the legend of the assassins had begun. Inside Alamut, warriors were not trained for battle. They were trained for something far more precise. Information was their greatest weapon. By the late 11th century, the Seljuk Empire stretched across the Middle East. But even empires had vulnerable moments, and the assassins were patient. They waited, days, weeks. Patience and absolute loyalty. In April 1192, another target appeared. His name was Conrad of Montferrat, King of Jerusalem. History would remember the moment. And once again, the assassins vanished into the crowd. For 2 centuries, their enemies would never feel safe. Far from Persia, the assassins had already spread across the mountains of Syria. They called him the Old Man of the Mountain. The Crusaders feared something worse than an army. They feared a man who could walk among them unnoticed. In 1192, a king believed he had finally secured his throne. But the assassins had already reached the city. In seconds, history changed. No army had stormed the gates, just another shadow, lost in the crowd. For 2 centuries, their enemies would never feel safe. Even the greatest generals were not beyond their reach.
But this time,
in 1176,
the target survived.
The assassins attempted the impossible. They had entered the heart of the camp, but this time, the target survived. A message had been delivered, and Saladin understood exactly who had sent it. After that night, an uneasy peace followed. For nearly 200 years, the assassins shaped politics from the shadows. Then, a new power arrived from the east. The Mongols had no fear of legends. Centuries of secrets vanished in flames. In 1256, the fortress fell, but the legend did not disappear. Historians still argue about one question. Did the assassins truly disappear after the fall of Alamut, or did they simply vanish back into the shadows? Share your opinion in the comments.